As we are moving on in life, as young people as we are, there are certain things that we have to look at. There are certain things in life that we can't neglect. There are certain things in life that should become part of our life. When you are traveling, there are road signs along the road that if you think you know how to drive, where it says there is a speed ramp, you don't care because you rough rider. You might end up having an accident. So many people are in a mess today because they didn't follow the instructions of life. And we all know that we want to build a great ministry. We want this youth church to be one of the best youth churches in the world. If you will not clap, whether you like it or not, I know and I believe that our youth church is going to be one of the best youth churches in the world. And that is what I see. I see us filling the stadiums, whether you like it or not. I believe it. One of the things we should check in our last days is the spirit of offense. On this light, the title of my message is Offense. One may ask, what is offense? When we say offense, it's a feeling of displeasure. It means you're hurt. And you see, as long as you're on earth, as long as you're part of a human institution, you're going to be offended. If you are working with a friend and that your friend has never offended you before, then the actual friendship has not started. It means no matter what you do, offense is inevitable. You cannot do without offense in this life. There is no way that you can cohabit with somebody without the person not offending you. Give me Luke chapter 17 verse 1. Luke chapter 17 shows us the signs that shows that the last days are coming. One day, Jesus said to his, give me King James. King James. These are the words of Jesus, not my words. He says that, then said he unto the disciples, it is impossible, but offenses will come. So Jesus, talking to his disciples, trying to tell them that there are certain signs that will tell you that the end is near. And one of the things he told them is that offenses will come. It is impossible for offenses not to appear. It is impossible for you not to be hurt by your leader or by your parents. It is impossible. If you are here and your mother or your father has not offended you before, then I don't know the kind of maybe dad or mother you have. Because no matter, as long as you're living with someone, you will be offended. You know what? Watch out for people who are always smiling. Watch out. I'm not saying that you should frown. But if you are friends with somebody who cannot tell you when you offend him or her, then watch out. Fear that person. I should be able to talk to Edward. Let's say if Edward is my friend. Edward, you did something that I don't like and I'm offended. That is why I'm addressing it. But if I keep it, it graduates to a level that will bring a problem between I and Edward that cannot be solved. Have your seat. So most of us seated here today, we have not treated offense, and gradually it is growing from a serpent to become a dragon. Because the dragon, the serpent that was not killed in Genesis, at the end became a dragon in Revelation. So that offense that you are not treating will end up bringing a problem between you and an authority figure. Offenses have break down so many relationships. Most of you, they were people who were taking care of you. Most of you, they were people who, as a result, you were serious in life. But because of offense, you've moved away from such company. And now you don't know what to do your life with. You don't know what to do with your life with. If you're William, have I offended you before? So many times. So many times. So many times. So it means that as long as you're part of a community, as long as you're part of a system, you will be offended. You will be hurt. Ladies, sometimes pastor can hug one lady or not hug you. That one alone can create offense. That one alone can create offense. I remember one day, let me share this true story. Where is Agnes? Agnes and Felicia. So Agnes brought Felicia to church, right? And now Felicia is part of, I don't want to say my favorite. She's like my daughter because the mother has handed her over to me. So let me put it that way. And one day she came to me that, oh, Pastor, I'm hungry. I had so plenty 5 CDs in my pocket. Pastor wanted to do show. And I said, oh, take 10 CDs. Immediately I gave her the 10 CDs. She went to Agnes and showed it to Agnes that, hey, the pastor has given me money. And Agnes became offended. You see, Agnes became offended because I brought this person to church. Now you talk to this person more than you talk to me. You even dash her money. You call her. You don't care for me like you used to care for me again. And Agnes was offended. Please have your seat. Agnes was offended. So you see, no matter what you do, offenses will come. That's what Jesus was telling the disciples. Offenses will come. You will be hurt. You will be hurt. Sometimes, how pastor will speak to you in front of your friends alone will cause you to be hurt. Pastor, the way you are talking to me, my friends are there, you are insulting me, like you are telling me, why didn't you call me on phone? Offense. So no matter what you do, you will be offended by the system that you're part of. So Jesus was telling them, he says that, then said he unto the disciples, it is impossible, but that offenses will come. You can't do without. Offense is something that you can't do without. Haven't you realized that sometimes that friend you like fighting so much, that particular friend, sometimes you quarrel, sometimes you fight. You see that relationship is so difficult to break. Elizabeth and her friend, you argue, and sometimes you argue. You see, guys are not like ladies. Ladies that they can argue, and even if you are the last person they can get life from, they will not buy from you because they are offended. Guys, you can fight today, the next moment you see us eating together. You get it? So no matter what you do, offenses will come. And you see, a sign that you've not treated offense is a sign that disloyalty is gradually creeping in your heart. If offense is not treated, gradually you are moving from the offense to a level that if care is not taken, you'll be executed spiritually. So most of us are executed spiritually because we were offended and we did not treat it. You are living with your mother, you are living with your dad, your grandmother, your uncle, who takes care of you, who gives you money to go to school. Say something, insult you, and because of that, you're angry. I don't want to see my uncle again. And many of us, our destinies are cut short because we were offended and we moved from our homes just like the prodigal son. And now we don't know where to go in life. It is not everybody you see on the street that does not have the means. There are some, because of offense, they pick their bag from their homes and now they are on the street. And if care is not taken, jail is waiting for them. It's funny these days, people just want to be like, I'm a street boy. Like they find pride in saying that, yeah, I'm a street boy. Meanwhile, you a street boy. Your mother is in the house, your dad is in the house. And your streetness and your offense now more free fear. So say the truth. Offense. That offense that you couldn't treat. That one thing your leader told you. Your leader said something. You couldn't even call the leader that, oh, leader, what you told me, I'm offended. I heard this. Why did you say this? You keep it. And gradually, the offense is gradually growing from being offended to something that you cannot control. One may ask, what is the genesis of offense? The genesis of offense is having an independent spirit. Most of us, the reason why we take offense sometimes in what our parents tells us, what our leaders tells us, is because we separated ourselves from the team. Therefore, when the thing that our leader used to tell us, that makes us excited, because now we are not part of the team. When that same thing is said to us, we become angry and offended because we've separated ourselves from the entire team. Offense. So the genesis of offense is independent spirit. So watch out. Watch out for that particular person you see in church. When everybody is dancing, he or she is part of it, part of the choir, part of the protocol. But now when he or she comes for meetings, she wants to be alone. Me, I want to be alone. I don't want to be part of any group. That person gradually is moving to the stage of becoming offended. You know, first, England can tell Ghana to do certain things because we were under them. We were part of them. But the moment we became independent, the moment we started taking care of ourselves, now England cannot tell us certain things. In the beginning, they could have told us certain things and we would take it with love. But because we've separated ourselves, now whatever they tell us, we can choose to do it or not. So the reason why many of us has become offended is because we separated ourselves from the flock. We separated ourselves from the church. We don't come for meetings. So we are secluded from the church. Therefore, things that pastor would have told you then, that will make you happy. Now he says that same thing, you're offended. You know that the more I see you, the more we build a relationship. You get it? The more I see, the more we build a relationship. You see? So, you see, our relationship can... Let me use myself and Pastor Kobe. I don't need to send Pastor Kobe or Minister Kobe good morning. I just go straight with whatever I want to tell him. And he does the same thing. But you see, if we had no relationship, I can't just enter his DM without saying good morning, without saying hi. In the same way, many of us, the reason why certain things are causing us to be offended is because we've separated ourselves, and therefore the relationship that we used to have is no more. Please, thank you. It's no more. It's no more. When people are offended, they change. They change in nature. They become bitter. When people are offended, they want to be alone. They don't want to be part of whatever that you are doing. When people are offended, any little thing sparks anger. Anything you say sparks anger. Whether it's good or bad, they are angry because they are offended and the offense wasn't treated. And now they are becoming a monster gradually. They are becoming a monster. And whenever you become offended, your destiny helpers move away from you. Spiritually, your destiny helpers move away from you. People don't have the boldness to correct you again. There are some of you I can't correct you. Do you know why? Because when I correct you, you'll be angry. But there are some I can even, just like how I use Agnes and Felicia. There are some of you I'm even scared to use you as an example. Because you send me a message, Pastor, me today this example, I don't like it too. Please have your seat. Why did you use me as an example? Why did you use me as an example? I hope you are following. Whenever you're offended, you take wrong decisions. When you become offended, any decision that you take, sometimes it's wrong. Because now you take decisions based on your emotions. God has told you. Let's say Elizabeth, bless William with 20 cedis. Because you know you are not in good terms with William. And yet, God, if I'll only do this and you bless me, then I'll not do it. Please have your seat. Because you're offended. Give me 2 Samuel chapter 13. Let's look at this interesting character. Bible. I don't have much time. 2 Samuel chapter 13. Hey, media team. All right. 2 Samuel chapter 13. 1-3. 1-3. I don't have much time, so please. All right. Then it came to pass after this that Absalom, the son of David, had a fair sister whose name was Tamar. And Amnon, the son of David, loved her. 2. Let's be quick. And Amnon was so vexed that he fell sick for his sister Tamar, for she was a virgin. And Amnon thought it hard for him to do anything to her. 3. But Amnon had a friend. This morning, once I was reading this scripture, I said, God, anybody that will get closer to me, that will lead me astray, Lord, may I not meet such people. Because you know what? Association determines how high you climb in life. Association determines how successful you become. Association determines the decision you make today. Currently, there are some group of ladies I'm shepherding. And you know the interesting part? Because their parents know that these people are friends. When one is not in the house, then the mother will go to the other person's house and ask, where is my daughter? Association. So it means that in the spiritual realm, when you associate yourself with people who are offended, automatically you become offended. Because it's a matter of time. It's a matter of time. It's a matter of time. You are too comfortable in people telling you the wrongs about the church. We are not saying that don't criticize, but don't be too comfortable. If somebody always comes to you, do you know Pastor Kobe said this to me and I don't like it? I don't know why Pastor Kobe, he always tells us to come for media meetings, but I do advert. I know what choosing go for on choosing it, and you're offended. Instead of you to pray that God, whatever door that opened for Pastor Kobe, God, keep on. Make sure that that door continually opens. One day, the first time they shot an ad, that was Edward and Co. You know, they are a group of friends. And Patrick was not part. So I had a meeting with him that, Patrick, I know you people are friends. And this ad, you are not part of it. But you know what I want you to do? Pray for your friends. That whatever that they are going to do is successful. Guess what? Even though, Pastor, me, I'm not offended though. I'm even happy for them. Guess what? The next ad that came, he was part of it. And for him, he was on a billboard. But Amnon had a friend. Ask your neighbor, who is your friend? Who is your friend? But Amnon had a friend whose name was Jonadab, the son of Shemaiah, David's brother. And Jonadab was a very subtle man. Give me NLT of this same chapter. NLT. But Amnon had a very crafty friend. His cousin Jonadab. He was a son of David's brother Shemaiah. Give me a message. I'm enjoying the one who's sitting. Let's clap for the person doing that. Amnon had a good friend, Jonadab, the son of David's brother. Jonadab was exceptionally streetwise. Streetwise. Some of you only take advice from people on the street. You only take advice from people on the street. And those on the street, I'm not one who life. Who told you? Who told you? You think success alone is being on the street? Let me tell you, some of the people you see on the street, they had no option. But you have options. Your mother is there, your dad is there. Some of the people you see on they had no options. Please, give me back my King James and let's go to 4. But Amnon had a friend, okay, and he said unto him, why art thou being the king's son? Lean from day to day, why thou not tell me? And Amnon said unto him, I love Tamar, my brother Absalom's sister. Some of you, your friend is offended. He is telling you because he wants a place to pour out, but he is not telling you so that you add more kerosene to the fire. Everybody and their friend they pour out to. There are times when I'm angry. I call Minister Charlie. Today something happened. We talk. You know, everybody wants somebody to pour out. But you see, when your friend is pouring offensive stuff to you, don't add more to it. Maybe I offended Edward. Then Edward will come to you, Harris. Hey, Harris, you know what Pastor Clem did to me today? Then Harris will tell him, Pastor Clem did this. Sir, not here. Oh, sir, not here. You go cancel no amount of scripture. Yeah, me time no kind no scripture amount. Now be scripture never the other. Please have your seat. Instead of Harris to tell Edward, oh, really? But Edward, don't you think that if you discuss with Pastor Claire, maybe you get what he wanted to communicate? Have your seat. And that is what a good friend does. But this one, when Amnon fell for her half sister and told the friend told Amnon that, but you are the king's son. Whatever you want, you can get. Some of you, if it was not the friend that you've joined yourself to, like by now you're still a virgin. Your friend will tell you, oh Charlie, try this guy out. Oh, this guy, oh Charlie. Oh, try him out. Let me share this story. One day, way back in BA, I think JHS2, I had a friend. And you see, how I didn't know this friend had started drinking. And he didn't want me to know. So one day we were walking. Small time. Now we had DBF in the bag. Now I'm on kakra. So I wanted to. And then the guy was hyper. So I wanted to find out what is it. I said, "Would you say on your guy? Behind himself on your guy? Really? Because I don't drink alcohol, I'm not guy. Because I don't sleep with ladies, I'm not guy. And most of the guys today, the reason why we are caught up in a mess is because of association. Who we talk to, who we seek counsel from. You're seeking counsel from that your friend who couldn't even pass his BC exams. You're seeking counsel pertaining to your life from that friend. How is it going to end? I love Tamar, my brother Absalom's sister. Let's move on. Let's move on. We don't have. And Jonadab said unto him, lay thee down on thy bed and make thyself sick. Look at what Jonadab told Amnon. He said that if you want your sister, this is how you are going to do it. Pretend as though you are sick. Tracy, jump to 20. Pretend as though you are sick and tell your father that the only person you want her to bring you food is Tamar and nobody else. And you know, when you are the king's son, anything you ask for is done. You get it? Anything you ask will be done. Okay, come back to 18. 15. I want the place Amnon slept with Tamar. Come to 14. All right. So howbeit, he would not hearken unto her voice, but being stronger than she, forced her and lay with her. So I hope you are following the story. So Amnon slept with a half sister. Now let's go back to 18. The genesis of offense. 18. And she had a garment of diverse colors upon her for 19. Let's go to 19. And Tamar put ashes on her head and rent her garment of diverse. 20. And Absalom, her brother, said unto her, had Amnon thy brother been with thee, but hold now thy peace, my sister. He is thy brother. Regard not this thing. So Tamar remained desolate in her brother Absalom's house. 21. But when King David heard all these things, he was very wroth. 22. And Absalom spoke unto his brother Amnon, neither good nor bad. For Absalom hated Amnon because he had forced his sister. So when the issue happened, their father called for a family meeting. Some of you, issues will happen. Your leader will call for a meeting. You won't even show up. Even when you show up and the leader asks you, are you okay with how I solved the problem? Now they are showing me, I will never forgive this person. Even if pastor has told me to talk, I will talk to you, but I will never forgive you. And because of that, your blessings are being blocked. You're always in church. You're always praying, but nothing is changing in your life. Nothing is changing in your life. You still sleep, and people sleep with you in your dream. Daddy once said a story. He said that way back on campus, they didn't know that when people sleep with you in a dream, it's something dangerous. So a group of friends will just meet, hey Charlie, and because they didn't know that in your dream, when you see people sleeping with you, it means something. It means you have to wake up. So the king sacked on the matter and said, yes, Amnon has raped your half sister Absalom. But you see, because we are from the royal home, I cannot kill Amnon, because if I kill Amnon, he's your brother. And Absalom spoke unto his brother Amnon, neither good nor bad. For Absalom hated Amnon because he had forced his sister Tamar. 23. And it came to pass after 2 full years. Some of you, you're okay, yes, everybody sees you smiling. But you offended, and nobody knows, only God and you. Because it is only God that sees the heart. You offended with how pastor corrected you, and nobody knows. Absalom was offended for 2 years. He never reacted until 2 years. So most of you seated here, you might be offended, and yes, you've not shown any sign that tells us that you're offended. But gradually, you're moving to a level that if care is not taken, you cannot be controlled. Give me 24. And Absalom came to the king and said, behold, now that thy servant had sheep hearers, let the king, I beseech thee, and his servant go with thy servant. So look at what offense caused. After 2 years, Absalom also devised a strategy. So you raped my sister, pastor. So you insulted me in front of my friends, pastor. So you said this thing at my back without telling me. Absalom also devised a strategy, and look at the strategy Absalom did. Absalom also organized a party. Offended people always organize gatherings where offensive people will attend. Association of people who are offended by Pastor Kobe. Association of people who are offended by Elizabeth. Hey, there are too many Elizabeths here. Okay, have your seat. Absalom organized a party, and guess what? He told the king that I'm organizing a party, so I want all your sons to be around. And Absalom told the people that, you know what? Make sure that Amnon is drunk. Make sure that the alcohol in Amnon's drink is too much that after drinking it, he can't even walk. And the Bible said, when Amnon got drunk, Absalom told them to kill him. And his brother was killed. Because of the offense 2 years ago, he did not treat. He ended up killing somebody. Ask yourself, how many things have you destroyed as a result of offense? How many things? How many doors have you closed as a result of you not treating offense? There are many doors that you've closed because you did not treat offense, because you did not sit down and analyze. Yes, Pastor Kobe has offended me, but who is Pastor Kobe in my life? Do I need him or he needs me? Some of you have a shepherd. This shepherd will go the extra mile of making sure that you go to school, of making sure, praying for you. The shepherd says one thing mistakenly, and because of that, you don't want to see his face. You don't want to see his face. When he calls you cry, you will not pick. When he calls you, you will not pick. Let me share some funny story. William, can I share it? You know you're my darling boy. So yesterday, I went on evangelism. And you see, when you call somebody a shepherd, spiritually you are connected to the person there. You carry the person's DNA. How many of us have watched those Nigerian movies? You see that, please, are we here? How many of us see those Nigerian movies? You see a parent doing something, let's say a mother cooking. Then all of a sudden the pot will fall because something has happened to the son somewhere. How many of us have seen that in movies? So I got to a place in Kokroko. And something said I should call William. So I called him. And the phone was on loudspeaker. This guy was not picking. Then something told me to turn to my left. I turned to my left. Lo and behold, please have your seat. Lo and behold, this guy, there's a game center. So when immediately he saw the call, his phone was on charge. So he went to the phone and picked the phone and was staring at the number. So when I turned, isn't it the person I'm calling? So I went to stand at his back and I kept calling. And he was looking at the call. One of his friends wanted to prompt him that, hey, your pastor is around. And I said, no, stop. And I kept calling. The guy was looking at the phone. Immediately he placed the phone down. Oh, now I will not pick his call. Let me go and continue my game. Immediately he placed the phone down. He turned. I was like, hey, pastor. Hey, pastor. I picked the call, but my phone was freezing. I said, no, your phone will freeze. Your phone will freeze. So when people are offended at your sayings, they see your call and they don't pick. They don't pick. They might never tell you they're offended with whatever you told, but their signs will show. Their attitude towards you will show. You have a friend that you always talk with. Today you meet that particular friend, and today I don't feel like talking. It means something is wrong somewhere. Because for me to call William, the William that I know, and he decides not to pick, it means something is wrong somewhere that we have to solve it. Have you a seat? Something is wrong somewhere. This God we serve, don't joke with him. When you call somebody you're a shepherd, immediately the person goes on his knees and mention your name. Lord, I pray for Harris. Lord, I pray for Edward. You see that? God begins to bring your life clear. Please have a seat. One day, I was praying and I was attacked by the spirit of lesbianism in a vision that I saw. So I didn't understand. And it was because I was praying for a particular girl. Immediately I woke up, I called her. And she started telling me, Pastor, I'm this. Pastor, I can't stop this. And I was telling her that, you see, when you call somebody your shepherd, when you call somebody your pastor, when you become offended with his sayings, things will not work for you. Jesus said, blessed are ye that are not offended in what I say. So it means that you can be cursed when you're offended with what your leader says and it's not treated. I called her. I called her. And Kobema, so spirit of lesbianism, so and yes, again, right? But because I'm connected to this person spiritually, I'm the head of this person, I'm the leader, I'm the shepherd. When the spirit wants to attack her, it has to pass through me. So when she becomes offended and I live her life for her, the spirit will now have access with her directly because I'm no more standing in the gap. I'm no more standing in the gap. I'm no more standing in the gap. Some of you, what your pastor is going through is because of you. If God is to open your eyes, like you not be offended with what he tells you. What he tells you. Effects of offense. Number one, offended people do more than what made them offended. And Absalom is an example. Your sister was raped. Did Amnon kill Tamar? When we read the scripture, did Amnon kill Tamar? No. Tamar was raped. Yes, I know it's bad. But you see, in paying back what Amnon did to her sister, he killed Amnon. So when people are offended, they do more than what made them offended. That is point one. Effects of offense. I said the first point is what? The first point is what? Can you help me? You do more than what? You do more than. Number two, you become a destructive critique. When you're offended, you become a destructive critique. Daddy has taught us Criticisms are right. Criticisms are good. We are not saying that you shouldn't criticize what we do. But you see, there are two types of criticisms. Number one, we have destructive and constructive criticisms. So if you are criticizing somebody and not making the person better, shut up. Somebody is smoking. You know that, yes. I don't want it to be like you are criticizing the person to know that, no, this person is doing wrong. Tell the person, oh, I know you are smoking. Smoking is bad. You have a brighter future. So if you smoke, this is what will happen to you. These days you see a lot of young men, kidney problems. Kidney this. You start taking red at the age of 50. And when you get me, those donations, donate to this. It's not everything me. I will not mind you. You start drinking at tender age. And when you get to 70, I should use my money to donate. I wouldn't do that. Second Samuel chapter 15, verse 1. Give me 15 and 1. So when people are offended, the second effect that you see is that they become a destructive critique. They start seeing the wrong things. There are people in church now, the only thing they see is what goes on bad in church. Because they are offended. In the beginning it was not so. But because they are offended and they did not treat the offense, they now see every good thing to be bad. Because you're offended. And it came to pass after this that Absalom prepared him chariots and horses and 50 men to run before him. Number 2. Look at the Absalom that was offended, that wasn't treated. Look at what happened. And Absalom rose up early. There are some people, when they're offended, they will not come to church early. But when it's time to gossip about the leader, they will come early. They will come to your house early. To tell you that, let me go fully that way. But they will never rise up early and come to church. But other things, they are on time. It shows you're offended at the sayings of their leader. And Absalom rose up early and stood beside the way of the gate. And it was so that when any man that had a controversy came to king for judgment, then Absalom called unto him and said, of what city art thou? And he said, thy servant is one of the tribes of Israel. Please, 3. And Absalom said unto him, see, thy matters are good and right, but there's no man deputed of the king to hear thee. So look at what Absalom was doing because of offense. He now comes to church early and start taking complaints. So when you're a receiver of complaints, it means you're offended, and that must be treated. People who receive complaints, there are people here, anything that goes on bad is what they tell you. Any gossip, you are part of it. Any kind of gossip, you are part of it. Hey, lady now, but nimpa bona sachi. Nimpa bona chi. Hey, ina tadi osebaya. Hey, guy, we should be aya undware. We try no ho na say. Hey, because you're offended and you didn't treat it. Now people are. I tell you, this morning I was telling one of my girls that. Please follow me, watch me. I was telling one of my girls that if somebody can insult your mother in front of you and you don't say anything, you are disloyal. If somebody can look at your face and say something to your leader and you are quiet, you don't want to say good or bad because the person is your friend. You have a friend who disrespects your mother. You don't say anything about it. You are working with people who disregard your leader and you don't say anything about it. Pastor, here come there, man, come you. But you were there. The psalmist said, blessed is he that sitteth not on the seat of the scornful. So it means that you are not a scorner, but for you to sit on their seat, you become a scorner. That is why the Bible said, blessed are ye that sitteth not in the council, or that sitteth not on the seat of a scorner. and tell me something about that. You fear. It can never happen. It can't happen. So if you are here and people can complain about their leader to you, watch out for such people. Watch out. That you are the only person they talk to. When anything is wrong with your leader, they come to you. Watch out. So Absalom, there's no man deputed of the king to hear thee. 4. Absalom said, moreover, that I were made judge in the land, that every man which had any suit or cause might come unto me, and I will do him justice. So Absalom, what stops you? You are the king's son. What stops you from telling the people that, the king will be with you? Some of you, when you become offended with your leader, you know that your leader is not well. If it is Basanta meeting, you go early. My leader ground pay meetings also right now catch a Zembra meeting because you offended. Now you are criticizing destructively. You are criticizing but destructively. Absalom would have said that, you came with a matter. My father is not around, but you can wait. But because Absalom was offended, Absalom has now grown to become a monster. To the extent that he tells people that if he was the king, he would have done better than his father. Some of you Pastor Kobe, Pastor Claire, don't worry. Let me give you the microphone. 5 minutes. Come and talk to us. 5 minutes. Offended people changes from who they are. That's the third effect of offense. Ezekiel chapter 12, verse 13. Offended people changes from who they are. Ezekiel chapter 12, verse 13. Ezekiel 12, 13. My net also will I spread upon him, and he shall be taken in my snare, and I'll bring him to Babylon, to the land of the Chaldeans. Yet shall he not see it, though he shall die there. Continue. And I will scatter toward every wind all that are about him to help him, and all his bands, and will draw out the sword after them. (14) 15, let's go to 15. And they shall know that I am the Lord. No, go 12. Grace, can you help me with the scripture? Lucifer, thou art the anointed cherub. Help me with that scripture. Whilst we wait for the scripture, let's go to the 4th point. The 4th point on effect of offenses is that betrayal. Matthew chapter 24, verse 10. Matthew 24, verse 10. Matthew chapter 24, verse 10. Matthew 24, verse 10. Is a machine freezing? Matthew chapter 20. And then shall many be offended, and shall betray one another, and shall hate one another. So one of the effects of offense is that you end up betraying one another. You are friends with a brother. He tells you a secret. Because today you are not talking to her, you tell other people. Do you know this lady has slept with this guy? The lady told you because she needed somebody to talk to. Somebody took you to their house. Because you are no more in talking terms with them. Somebody introduced you to a friend, and today you see that friend as important than the person who introduced you. So whenever you're offended, you end up hating each other. That person you call a friend, that person you call a shepherd, because you're offended at him, now you hate him. One of the days, one of my people told me, "Shepherd, I hate you. I hate you." And I told her, a sign that you love somebody is when the person is not giving you love, but you are rather showing the person love. So the fact that you hate me doesn't mean that I will not extend a hand of love for you. So when people become offended, they betray one another. They hate one another. The seed point is that you lose your inheritance. Absalom was supposed to become the next king after the death of David. He lost his inheritance because he was offended. Solomon then became the next king of Israel. And Absalom couldn't hold up the mantle of his father to the end. So whenever you become offended, you lose your inheritance. You lose your position. You lose trust. I believe that after today, if you're offended, you ask God, the Lord, help me. My mother said this to me, and I can't forgive my mother. I'm going to make an altar. I'm trying, but I can't forgive her. Why would my mother tell me this? Why would my pastor tell me this? My shepherd, my uncle, my auntie, why would she tell me this? And you are finding it difficult to forgive them. That is the reason why your blessings are blocked. So let's close our eyes. If you're here and you're offended in any way, whether your father, maybe your father did not take care of you, and because of that you're offended, I understand. Your father did not give you even one cedi to this stage of your life, and you're offended. You don't want to see his face. You don't want to see. Let's read the scripture. Thank you. Thou art the anointed cherub that covereth, and have set thee so. Thou was upon the holy mountain of God. Thou hast walked upon down in the midst of the stones of fire. 15. Thou wast perfect in thy ways from the day that thou was created till iniquity was found in thee. This is the part I want. So the devil was perfect until iniquity, until offense, until he became offended. The devil was perfect in all his ways. But he became rebellious because of offense. So I want us to close our eyes and ask the Lord, help me. This friend has done something to me. I can't forgive him. This guy forcefully slept with me. I'm ministering, I'm not joking. This guy forcefully slept with me and broke my virginity. I can never forgive this guy. And because of that, you're caught up in the net that you can't move on to your next level. Close your eyes and pray. It's a healing process. It's a healing process. It's a healing process. It's a healing process. If the tears are flowing, let it flow. Ask the Lord. Your mother doesn't take care of you. Your mother doesn't care about your life. Your dad, he doesn't care whether you eat, where you sleep, and you're offended. I'm making this altar call. If you're here and you're offended, maybe somebody says something to you. Maybe you don't even know where your father is, and because of that you are angry. Other people, their parents are taking care of them, and you are suffering because you don't even know where your mother is. You don't know where your father is. Your shepherd says something that you didn't like, and you're offended. The person taking care of you, your guardian, says something that you don't like, and you're offended. Let me see you. Let's close our eyes. Let me see you by hand. Let me see you by hand. It's a healing process. Don't watch whether your friend is being part or not. It's a healing process. If you don't treat it, you can't enter into certain realms. You can't be favored. You are not favored because of offense. Lift up your hands on high. Lift it high. Lift it high. Close your eyes. And lift it high. You're telling God, Pastor, I want God to help me. I'm offended. I don't know why my father did not take care of me. I don't even know where my father is. I don't know. My mother seemed not to like me. My mother always insults me because my father is not in the house. Because my father left my mother. Even if my mother will give me money, unless she insults me and you're offended, let me see your hand. Be up on your feet. Be up on your feet. Let's close our eyes, please. I didn't say we should open our eyes. Be up on your feet. It's a healing process. It's a healing process. Some of you, I want to call, but I don't want to call. I don't want you to make this decision. Be up on your feet. I tell you that the offense that is not treated, you end up becoming a monster and nobody wants to associate with. For the last time, if you're offended at the sayings of your leader, at the sayings of your father, your mother, the Bible said, honor your parents in the Lord, and it shall be well with you, and you live long. But I want you to pray and tell God that, Lord, help me to forgive my father. I cannot. If it is your mother, tell God that, Lord, I cannot forgive my mother. Help me. Help me. Sometimes I wish I can get home and I'll call somebody daddy. I'll talk to somebody I'll talk to my father, but there's no father, there's no mother. If the tears are flowing, let it flow. It's a healing process. Talk to God.